Says we're live. Oop. Don't know if that's true. I'm sure I'll find out in a minute. We shall see. We shall see. Ooh, I'm seeing highs. Hi. Lots of folks in. Cappuccino Crafts, Gozer, hi Carowin, Kara, Ms. Wicked Wolf. Hello, Jack. Nice to see folks. How am I? How am I? I am just lovely. That'll do. I'm quite nice now. Here's the thing. It hasn't really been a bad day so much as it's just been an I'm done day. That's just sort of where I'm at. I'm done. I'm good. I'm spent. Oh, that's good though. So what do we got going on here? Is that one of those gag glasses that holds an entire bottle? No. I should get one of those, though. That was me last weekend, just done. Yeah, the weekend was nice because I vacationed with Liz. And, you know, we saw friends. We went to a very cool museum in Massachusetts. We went to a botanical garden. It was nice. It was just nice and relaxed, and it was good to get away with her. But of course, the thing is, then I had to come back. Nose back to the grindstone, and this has just been a day that's just had a lot of stuff. Yeah. Which museums and gardens? So the museum, we'll start with the gardens first because the gardens are easier to explain. The museum takes some explaining. That's very red water. No, it doesn't look that way to me. I don't know why you're seeing it like that. So the gardens were the Smith College Botanical Gardens. Which were nice. There's a lot of that campus. That's just, you can feel free to roam around. We were going to go to their art gallery too, but that was closed. Had jury duty today, sat in a courtroom for 9 hours and wasn't selected. Yeah, that was my jury duty too when I got called a while back. And then the museum that we went to was the Eric Carle Museum. I'll explain that in a second. Yes, Egonine is canon. Is it though? Are we sure about that? I mean, clearly, what we're talking about the new Ghostbusters trailer, which I've shot a reaction to. I just haven't had the time to edit it because amongst all the other nonsense going on today, I had to watch my mother's puppy unexpectedly for a bit. So, and I couldn't edit because I have to keep an eye on the puppy, but he can't come in my office. There's too much stuff to chew. So I have shot a reaction to that trailer, have not had the chance to edit it, so that'll go up tomorrow morning. But yeah, Janine shows up, and she obviously has a lot of very affectionate terms to say about Egon, but that doesn't necessarily mean they ended up together. I hope it does mean that. I want it to mean that, especially because Janine with Lewis was fucking stupid. I'm going to be swearing this stream. I'll try not to go nuts with it, but like, that's how it's going to be. Let's just be honest about it. So anyways, Eric Carle Museum. So Eric Carle, you may not know the name, but you probably know his work. He was a children's book illustrator and writer. He is best known for The Very Hungry Caterpillar. He had a very unique art style, and he passed away fairly recently. But there is a museum dedicated to him and to picture book art in general. So they have like one gallery dedicated to just Eric Carle's work, and then they have rotating exhibits. I know words. Rotating exhibits in the other galleries. So what they had was oh god, what was his name? I couldn't think of his name earlier, and I felt bad. So I gotta check this because I took a lot of pictures. It was Ashley Bryan. I wanted to say Ashley Brown, but it's not Brown. Ashley Bryan, who did a lot of children's books based around spirituals, and you know, the history of those kinds of songs. So that was really fascinating. And then what was really cool is they had an exhibit dedicated to wordless picture books. So picture books with no text, no dialogue, just the images telling the stories. And a lot of these were books I'd never heard of, and just seeing like the selection of images from them and like the descriptions that were posted alongside of it was fascinating. Some of these bits of arts were gorgeous, and some of them were humorous. Some of them were really surreal, like in a very cool way. It was really, really cool. That said, I have a hard time deciding whether my highlight of the Eric Carle Museum was the wordless picture book exhibit or the gift shop, which is not the consumerist thing that it sounds like. Because, like, I would say 80, if not 100% of the staff working the gift shop were delightfully openly queer. So I actually conversed with them a bit, and it got started because the mask that I wore, it's got pentagrams with the pride colors on them. So one of them spotted that and was like, "Oh, I love your mask." And so first thing I did was I wrote down for her Hi-Ho Silverworks website. So that's hihosilverworks.com. Check it out yourself, because that's my friend who designed that. And there's a whole other bunch of designs on masks and shirts, and that was really cool because they brought it up like on the computer, and I got to hear them squee over some of the designs that Hi-Ho has done. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, that was a nice trip. We went to a not so great Mexican restaurant, but we went with good friends. So, hey Meg, nice to see you pop in. That's always good. Oh, people talking about Frog and Toad. I remember Frog and Toad books only in the broadest sense. I don't remember any specifics about any of them. Hi-Ho or Hi-Ho? H-I-H-O. Like you're saying hello to a hoe. Hi, ho. That's not a dig. That they're a burlesque performer in addition to an artist. So like that is their burlesque name is Hi-Ho Silver, and it's the branding they put on their merch and their store and their design stuff. Questions. Have you seen Avengers Hero of Tomorrow, which is an animated film, came out in 2011, that instead of following the classic Avengers, it follows the kids? No, I have not heard and was not aware. So there's your very fascinating answer to that question. I tried to save a baby bird yesterday, but I was too late. That's a shame. I mean, if baby birds in general are really vulnerable, and I've had that. That's a lesson I've learned a few times, unfortunately. I love Frog and Toad and adore Owl at Home. Arnold Lobel rocks. Owl at Home. Those I don't think I even read. I remember reading Frog and Toad. I've heard of Owl at Home, but I don't think I've ever read that. I keep wanting to say hi ho silver away. So Geek Filter, if you're on TikTok, you should check out their account. It's hi ho silver vibes on TikTok. But not every time, but they frequently start their TikToks with, hey there, hi there, ho here. And I'm just like, oh, that just makes me happy. What's your favorite animal? I don't have a favorite animal. Animals are just awesome. Have you seen any of the Paddington movies? If not, one to watch with the kid. We saw the first one. She didn't like it enough to be into watching the second one. So I think I suggested this, but have you seen Star Kids Works here on YouTube? I've seen one Star Kids piece. I've seen Twisted. And actually on the Patreon commission docket is another one. I'll be taking a look at the guy who didn't like musicals, or it's called something like that. So I'll be checking that out hopefully next month if I can keep up the pace that I'm going at. Vera, I'll read it to you sometime. I'd be delighted. Picture books from my childhood: The Snowman, The Tiger Who Came to Tea, We're Going on a Bear Hunt, and Each Peach Pear Plum. Okay, so Each Peach Pear Plum, that was one we read to my kiddo a fair bit. And that was a cute one. Like, when I was growing up, I had a fair bit of Dr. Seuss, and then just a bunch of random stuff that I don't know anyone else who knows it. There was like Seven Frogs Go to School. There was, what was there? There was Over in the Meadow was one I really liked. There was The Monster in the Bathtub. Like these random things that I don't know anyone who knew these. Are you going to see the Jungle Cruise movie with The Rock? I think that's what it's called. Also has Emily Blunt and Jack Whitehall. I would like to. I'm not in a massive rush on that, but I would like to at some point because it looks like it potentially kind of has the vibe of something like the Brendan Fraser Mummy, which I'm here for. Would you ever appear on The Masked Singer? It doesn't matter. They wouldn't ask me. I'm not famous. I'm not famous? Famous enough. Star Kids musicals of Harry Potter had the best depiction of Dumbledore. The only one confirmed gay. I've heard that, but like I'm not I'm not in the mood for even parody Harry Potter anymore. I can't right now. No. The kids and parents follow as such: James Rogers, son of Cap and Black Widow; Aziri, son of Black Panther and Storm; Pym, the daughter of Ant-Man and the Wasp; Torian, daughter of Thor. I mean, okay, it's an interesting enough gimmick. Yeah, sure. Why not? Why not? Saw the Owl House review today. What do you think of okay, I'm not going to say out loud what that is that you put in the chat because that's a spoiler. What do I think of that storyline? I don't really have thoughts on it because it's not really a storyline yet. It is a hint of something that's going to be a thing later. Or at least it's not a storyline in the first 5 episodes, which is all I've seen because that's all that's been put onto Disney Plus. If it has started to become more of an evident thing in the episode since then, do not tell me. I don't know when they're going to go on Disney Plus. They're remaking The Exorcist. What are your thoughts? My thoughts are they are not. It's officially a continuation, not a remake. I don't know why does I become a mock snob out of nowhere. Oh. You know, I really do love cranberry juice. Have you read Marvel Voices Pride and or DC Pride? I have not. I have not read a lot of what DC or Marvel have put out in a long time, like very selectively. Like my relationship to the comic books industry is not dissimilar to my relationship with the video game industry, which is that I kind of keep like an eye on it, but I don't actively engage with it. So, where did I leave off? I've only just I've only just realized after recording commentaries on Doctor Who episodes how much my ADHD turns me into a verbal tick incarnate. Like, here's the thing. ADHD, like, you will, as you come to better understand your own brain, you'll look back in time and like realize all the things that fed into this, whether they were when you were young or like now in your life. You're like, oh, I'm like that because of my neurodivergence. That makes way more sense now. Like, so many of the things that you think are just like, well, like, I guess that's just weird. Like, if you slot it in properly, you realize, oh. So like a good example for me is when I was a kid, starting in grade school, I think second grade, I would walk home from school. And it wasn't a short walk. It was like 3/4 of a mile walking home. And here's the kicker. Walking home did not get me home any sooner than the bus would have. Actually, it wasn't uncommon for the bus to pass me with like a few more blocks left to go. But I did it anyway, not because I was trying to get home faster, but because I was bored out of my flipping mind sitting around and waiting for the bus. My brain could not tolerate it. I hated it so much, just sitting there waiting for this bus and not doing anything. So it was more satisfying to my, at the time, not yet diagnosed ADHD brain, that even though it doesn't get me home faster, at least I'm doing something. I'm not just sitting here. I'm doing a thing. I can look around and the scenery's changing. This is better. It's just better. And yeah, so that's the kind of thing I mean, where you look back and you realize just how deep this shit runs. Also, all the heroes were killed by Ultron, like from Avengers to the Inhumans. Side note, this Ultron is 10 times better than the live action version, in my opinion. I don't know. There are very few of the big villains of both DC and Marvel who I actually find very interesting. I don't generally find Ultron that interesting. I sometimes find Thanos a little interesting. I don't find Annihilus interesting. I don't find Kang, and I'm talking about the comic book iterations here. I don't find Kang interesting. Like, really, the interesting one is Doctor Doom. He's interesting. But the rest of them, not so much, really. Fat bottom girls are larger than life. Fat bottom girls. You know, don't mess with Queen. Fat bottom girls, you make the rockin' world go round. Then like the bass drum kicks in. Ah, so good. Yeah, Zan, I've got consensus in the chat on this. With a name that doesn't at all telegraph he's a villain. I mean, I forget the name of the phenomenon where like your name seems to dictate your career path in life. Like the guy's name was Victor Von Doom. What else was he gonna do? Out of all the doctors from the modern era, which one would you most like to travel with? For traveling, I'd probably get along best with 11. Even though 12's my favorite. But like, I think I would annoy 12. Or at least I fear that I would. Where did I leave? I was going to back up in the chat. I'm not going to bother. Cranberry juice. So like, if you want to be sure I catch a comment, like, that's what the super chat's for. And the super chat also gets you me giving you a heart and a thanks. Thank you so much. Should end your Twitch live streams with McCavity. I'm not gonna do that, I don't think. Part of the reason I'm willing to do that for this is I'm usually hydrated by the end of these. So, it's flows off the tongue a little bit easier. I am changing. So, Twitch stream is still going to happen at its usual time. I am switching up the game because up to this point, I had been playing Hearthstone, which I will no longer be doing because fuck Activision Blizzard. That is a company that should not exist. And I hope dies. I don't care how. It should not exist. Burn it down. And so as a result, I'm going to be instead streaming a dating sim visual novel, which I have tested and should run fine, even though I don't have a new computer yet. So it'll be a nice change of pace for those of you who do join me on the Twitch stream. Twitch.tv/Council of Geeks. Follow me over there. Also, here, like, share, subscribe. I'll whore for myself. Sure, why not? Would fawn pants have a third sleeve? What, you mean for the tail? Or for something else? I don't think so either way. Good call on that. There's an employee walkout tomorrow. Good. If they could afford to all quit, I would say that they should, but I know that they can't. So, yeah. Like the video game industry right now, the worst offenses of the capitalist system are all on display to the nth degree in the video game industry right now. And Activision Blizzard is a really good point for that. So, yeah. Burn it down. So, Magic Arena. Maybe I'll check it out at some point. I'm ready for a change up in the kind of game I'm playing too. Who's got pizza? Who has Hawaiian pizza? What? Who? Where? Waiting at the door for pizza. Oh, lucky. Hawaiian's good. I had Hawaiian the other day. Well, not yesterday, 2 days ago. That was nice. That was real nice. Hawaiian's great. Pineapple is excellent on pizza. I don't know when the hell it became like a thing to be like pineapple on pizza, but like you're all wrong. So I think I feel like I'm the only one who's starting to get sick of sympathetic villains and miss charismatic villains like Handsome Jack from Borderlands or the Joker. Um, I'm not. I'm not sure how much we're getting actually sympathetic villains, but it has become more common practice to try and bring shades of gray or to humanize, to some degree, villains. And like, I do appreciate that. Um, I think that in general, there's some really good stories that can be done with that. But there's a fun to just the villain who knows they're a villain and loves that. And like, that's not even a recent thing. You can go back to goddamn Shakespeare for that. You read Titus Andronicus and the character of Aaron, who knows he's the bad guy. He knows it to his core. He knows it. And he loves every second of it. And he's a phenomenal character. You can, like, you know what? It's almost like the inverse of the people who think Superman's uninteresting because he's so good and he's such a goody two shoes that like you have to make him morally like dirtier to make him interesting. No, if you write him well, he's still a wonderful character. And it's the same with just a straight out villain face from Villainton, Villaincania, and so's your dad. So, like, that can be a lot of fun in that. That can even be an interesting character with depth because it's a common saying nobody thinks they are the villain. So what does it say about a character if they do think they're the villain? If they think that and are still doing this, that is a question that can be interesting for a performer to explore, for an audience to enjoy. So, like, you can bring depth to a villain without having to make them morally gray or humanized or sympathetic or whatever. It's just become the easy go-to, I think, to go more that route. And again, oftentimes with very good results. Just, not always. What about banana pieces on pizza? That'd be a pass on that one. Thank you very much. Anyone watch Thought Slime's video on Superman and Lois? I saw that it went up. I didn't get around to that one. Hi to the usual crowd. Hey, Callie. Going to try to talk to the old man into putting some of our jalapenos on it when it gets here. Oh, you're on your own on that one. Let's see. What you say about the pure evil villains is exactly how I feel about the Master. Fair. And like I say that as a lover of Missy, who was made more sympathetic, but like I still consider Richard Delgado to be the best Master, as much as I love Missy. I think that's why Jack Nicholson and Cesar Romero are my favorite Jokers. They were just vibing. Same with Mark Hamill, for that matter. I'm putting money on Paul Dano's character being called Edward Nashton rather than Edward Nygma. That would piss me off if that happens. Because, like, look, Batman is silly. If you're too afraid of the silliness of Batman, then you shouldn't be tackling Batman. Or at least you shouldn't be tackling characters and stories that lean into the silliness of Batman. If you want a silly-free Batman, you can't do the Riddler. The Riddler's very silly. That said, the trailers make it look like he's, they're basically going to have him be John Doe from Seven, which I'm not thrilled about if it ends up panning out that way. Fawn's third sleeve, yes. Why? This is the second time you brought it up. Why? What do they need a third sleeve for? I don't know if you're implying something that I'm just not getting because, or like I don't know where you're going with this. I don't mean to be cranky. Sorry, it's just been a day. Thoughts on DC animated films? I am way behind on those because they stopped being consistently good. They used to be very consistently good. Then they were intermittently good and utter crap. And to pull the description from Cell Specs and her term, the main offender of that was Shitbag Damien. He was not the only offender, but he was the big one. He kind of exemplified why those got so bad. So bad. Oh my God. If you don't mind seeing me with short hair in front of a badly done green screen effect, you can go back to some of my old videos on reviews of things like Son of Batman and Batman vs. Robin. And oh God, they're all so bad. Fuck. Sword of Atlantis was crap too. Ugh. Because they're enormous. So, two things about that, my friend. One, all they have to be is a grower, not a shower, and with that being the case, two, if their fur on their legs is thick enough, they get by just fine without. I wouldn't put a fawn in pants. What's wrong with you? Any song that has something to do with being sexy perfectly defines you. Oh, thank you. Fawns are known to be gifted in the groin area. Wink, wink. Yeah. I know that. I'm playing a fawn in D&D right now. I'm aware. Kara, thank you. You get a heart. Thank you very much. I finally got my room in order. Taking bets on how long it will last. We're on 3 days now. Also beginning to think I have ADHD. Can you tell? I mean, like, serious. If you think you might have it, be sure you actually talk to your primary care physician and arrange to get diagnosed officially, because there's a lot of quirks about it that people go like, oh, I do that, I wonder if I have it. Like, and you might, and if you do, you'll be appreciative for the help that they can offer. But if you don't, it's better to know that than to start going down the rabbit hole of thinking you have a condition that you don't have. As far as taking bets, if you're on 3 days so far, I'm going to say 5. So 2 more. I've watched all your reviews of DC animated movies. The sanity seemed to be being drained from you with each one film. It did get to the point where if they were good, it was kind of an amazing surprise. Like Batman Bad Blood was pretty good, and I was shocked by that. I think the one that really broke my enthusiasm was how bad The Killing Joke was. And I honestly think I was kinder to it at the time than I should have been. That really is a piece of absolute garbage. That movie is such trash. And it's about half the reason why seeing the name Brian Azzarello on a comic book will immediately make me put it down and walk away. I have no interest in reading anything from that man, ever. Question, do you know the origins of the green little bugger in the background? What, the Tunberry? I mean, I know what he's from, because I bought him for myself. If you're asking me if I know what the inspiration for the Final Fantasy monster that is no, I don't. Admit it, you know you're sexy. Of course I fucking do. Jesus Christ. Good morning from Germany. Good morning to you as well. They're alt Trekkie. David I cannot read that last name. Rowan? But David, something starting with a D, seems to be a lucky charm for DC. The Dark Knight, Gotham, Polka Dot Man and Suicide Squad, and the voice of Calendar Man, The Longest Halloween. Oh, that guy. I haven't seen The Longest Halloween yet. I've really kind of put off. There's a ton I haven't seen at this point. I haven't seen Apocalypse War. I haven't seen Death of the Family. I haven't seen Long Halloween. And I don't know if I wanna that much. What movie are we talking about that was trash? Oh, that was the Killing Joke movie. That was garbage. Have you seen Justice Society World War II? If so, what you think? I have not, so I think nothing. What's your favorite song from Six? It's... Give me a second. I know what it is. I'm just I'm not struggling to think of what one's my favorite. I'm just... the wrong song has gotten stuck in my head. All You Want to Do. Gah! Damn. There it is. Super excited because I'm going to Fan Expo Boston with all the safety precautions, of course. Christopher Eccleston and Kevin Conroy are going, as well as other guests. I've been to that one before. I'm not doing another con. I'm not doing cons this year because I can't afford it. Maybe next year. And Boston would be a viable one because it's the kind of place where I could do it as a day trip. And also I have friends within a short driving distance. So feasibly I could possibly even crash with them and not have to pay for a hotel. So come next year, I might want to look into something like Fan Expo or possibly the Granite State Comic-Con, whatever the New Hampshire one is, if the timing lines up. That's the other thing. These have to fall during weekends when I don't have my kid. Because she won't, I actually think she might have fun at a Comic-Con, but not enough fun for it to be worth the haul to bring her to one, is the issue there. Favorite Muppet, since we're just shouting stuff out. Depends on whether or not we are going to count Sesame Street puppets as Muppets. If we are, then it's Grover. If we aren't, I kind of incline towards Sam the Eagle these days, which is weird because as a kid, I didn't get him. I didn't really get the joke of him, but he's really funny. I'm finally returning to the cinema on Thursday night to see Edgar Wright's new documentary, The Sparks Brothers. Enjoy, Rowan. Hope it's a good time. So I have both versions of Justice League at home. I still like the Whedon cut more. There are certainly things that the Whedon cut has that the Snyder one doesn't that I enjoy and appreciate. I will freely admit the Snyder cut is a more cohesive film than the Whedon cut was. You'll Be Back or All You Want to Do. Oh, stop mashing song titles together. Stop trying to break my brain. Let's see. Munch. I haven't been to a munch in a long time. Been a few years since I've been to one of those. Wonder how many people will get what I'm talking about when I say that. I thought Gonzo would be your favorite. I do like Gonzo a lot. I think my thing is that about half the time he's played a little too melancholy for my taste. When Gonzo's in his more manic moods, I dig him a lot. But he does have these very melancholy, the eyelids go half mass sort of bits, and I don't care for those as much. Geek Filter, thank you. You get a heart, my friend. Thank you very much. Sam the Eagle at the Muppet 3D ride. Now salute to all nations of the world, but mostly America. Yeah, that's him. I love it. Ah, he's really great. Uh, or in Muppet Treasure Island, it is the American way. I mean, the British way. No, that wasn't Muppet Treasure Island. That was Muppet Christmas Carol. Was that where that one was from? Ha ha! I corrected it before any of the rest of you could get me and show me up and make me look stupid. I can make myself look stupid without your help. Thank you very much. It's more cohesive, that's true, but any movie that doesn't have Aquaman sitting on the lasso of truth is automatically bad. However, the Alfred Bruce dynamic was better in Snyder. I did enjoy that moment too. I agree with that. I'm not surprised you've been to Munch's, Vera. And I'm not surprised you knew what I meant by that, Carowin. So, fair's fair. Have you seen any opera? Yes, I've seen Mozart's The Magic Flute. I was in my teens when I saw that. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Gonzo's bipolar? Maybe. Let's see. What would Sam the Eagle be like under the Trump administration? I think Sam the Eagle would have come out a drunk. I think he that would have broken him. The thing about that scene is that people have pointed out how freaked out the boy playing young Scrooge looks. I've never noticed. See if I remember to watch for that next time. Goes to look up Munches. You might have to take Google Safe Search off to have that be a meaningful thing to look up. Then again, maybe you shouldn't do that. It's my job to break your brain. Yeah, well, I'm still standing, but we'll go with that. That's what? That's more than half the bottle? That's good. That'll do. Let's see. Any thoughts on the Doctor Who Series 13 teaser? Yeah, not many. I mean, it's just like, I talked a little bit about it on the Break Room of Geeks, and actually Channel Pup just put up a conversation that he recorded earlier with me and the Who Chaser. And again, I don't have a ton of thoughts on the teaser itself. It's mostly clips of the cast in little moments, and I don't get much from that. I would rather they'd have shown monsters or settings or something. Are you trying to make me look stupid in front of the other guests? You don't need any help from me, sir. That's right. I don't think there's anything wrong with Colonel Mustard frequenting a house of ill repute. All soldiers do, don't they? Oh, please. But he holds a sensitive security post in the Pentagon. And Colonel, you drive a very expensive car for somebody who lives on a colonel's pay. I don't. I came into the money during the war when I lost my mommy and daddy. What am I doing? This is all your fault. You know that the big reason they did the movie was because they could do a Fozzie pun. Hey, if that's what got us that movie, I'm on board for it. I feel like Sam would have been initially caught up in MAGA, taking it at face value. Maybe briefly, but like, he's also an idealist. And I think all that would have been shattered under Trump. Getting drunk tonight? I dispute that interpretation. I am partaking of cranberry juice. And look. It says cranberry. Don't pay any attention to the fact that my finger was covering up the words underneath that, or a certain percentage by volume number. It's cranberry. It's cranberry juice. Sam the Eagle has more self-respect and dignity than Trump. Well, yeah. So does a dung beetle. What's your point? Uh, I'll take full responsibility for that gladly. Good, somebody should. I'd be more excited for Series 13 if it was 5 episode, the mini-series format. I mean, I'll actually be kind of surprised if it is as much an absolute continuous story as Chibnall has implied. I expect there will be smaller stories contained within it all the same. 25 proof cranberry juice. Good guess. I won't take full responsibility. Well, fine then. Wild Discord. Ah! Yes. Thank you. Vero, that's how he wound up singing Jungle Boogie. Oh, God. Sam the Eagle with Jungle Boogie. Jungle Boogie. Jungle Boogie. Jungle Boogie. Okay. Checking the Discord, which, as a reminder, is a perk. It's a perk. It is a perk of the patron supporters, and is the other way to guarantee that your questions or comments will be read, aside from Super Chat, and nothing there. Huh. Well, that's... all right. I'll try not to read into that. That's a first. Have you seen Ian McKellen's one-man show? Not sure if it's available on US Amazon Prime or not. It's the sweetest thing. I haven't smiled that much in a long time. I did not know he had one. I know my booze. Oh, clearly. Let's see. So do you think you've had enough drinks to give Doctor in Distress another watch? Fuck you. Let's see. Do you cook? Yes, a little. Not a ton. But yeah, intermittently. I like cooking for other people. I tend to get bored cooking for myself if it's something that's going to take me more than 15 minutes. Again, ADHD, I strongly suspect. So if I'm cooking for myself, I'm rarely going to do anything that's going to require a ton of prep and then go in the oven for like 45 minutes. Like, I'm just not going to do it. Give me a pan. I work on the stovetop. That's me in cooking. Oh, new type, JB Lee. Thank you. You, my friend, get a heart. Hello. Hope you're well. A question. Do you think MCU will be able to portray both political mutant metaphor and the cosmic mystical side in X-Men? I mean, something like God Loves a Man Kills might not work in the MCU. For the size that the MCU is now, it certainly would empower them to tackle the more bonkers, cosmic, mystical side than the Fox stuff was ever equipped to do. And in the Fox series, both Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix looked ridiculous. Those stories were too big for what those films were up to that point. That said, those films did do the smaller scale political allegory at times excellently. So I think what I'm inclined to say is that while I mean, like, it's worth keeping in mind that Marvel doesn't actually lift direct stories very often for the MCU, even though they'll steal names. Um, I would be surprised if they tried to pull something like God Loves, Man Kills as a movie. If they end up doing, like, here's what I tend to think from a business perspective would be the best way to do the X-Men, is to actually have them primarily focused as a Disney Plus TV series item. Because there you keep it on a smaller scale and you do the political stuff. You do the God Loves, Man Kills. You do the oppression allegories. And then in the movies, you do the bigger stories. You do your Apocalypse, your Brood invasion, your have Kitty Pryde lead the Marauders. Seriously, have Kitty Pryde lead the Marauders in the movies. Please. She's a bisexual pirate queen with a pet dragon. Just, please. Please. But maybe, just maybe, Doctor in Distress isn't as bad as you remember. Look, this doesn't make me stupid. Nice try. Do you need to be drunk and high at the same time to watch Doctor in Distress? I don't get high anymore. I don't really want to either. I have no distinct desire to get back to that part of my life. Gotta say, I love to have The Death and Return of Superman as a TV series. The Return, definitely. Because, like, if that story's ever going to be done right, which I would argue it never has been, it really needs space to breathe. Falcon and the Winter Soldier went way harder on the politics than I expected, and it was very down to earth and relevant. Yeah, no, it was. It did that quite well. Then ditch Chris Pratt and make Kitty Pryde Star-Lord afterwards. I don't need that much. No, let Kitty Pryde be Kitty Pryde. Let her just be awesome. Because Kitty Pryde is awesome. You got high before? I'm damn near 40 years old. Yes, I've done a lot. Do I look like a teetotaler? Seeing as we're talking about Muppet Christmas Carol and on the subject of Paul Williams' songwriting, have you seen Bugsy Malone? No. I think there should be an MCU anthology film, just a bunch of short films, call it Amazing Fantasy or Tales of Suspense or Journey into Mystery. I think an anthology TV series would be a better use of that format. Anthology films just really aren't a way to go. They just aren't a thing anymore. I mean, when was the last anthology film? And I'm not going to accept the answer of Grindhouse, because those were two full-length movies crammed back to back. I guess it would be the Sin City sequel. Yeah. Would you ever do a burlesque number with one of the songs of the Backstreet Boys or In Sync? I mean, maybe. If I had a number that would benefit from that music. So, possibly. Not planning to, currently. I was thinking of the Twilight Zone movie. Well, that's like 80s, that is. VHS, when was that film? What are we calling them? The noughties? I hate that term. The 2000s, the mid 2000s. Almost 40. You don't look a second over 14,500 days. I am not running the math on that. So I don't I don't know if I've just been complimented or insulted, because I ain't gonna do it. Nearly 40. Hello, mummy. Oh, God damn it. I'm going to have to accept My new identity is a MILF, aren't I? Shit. What's it like to get high? It's weird. I mean, main thing for me was time got very strange. I would just kind of stare at the wall and like 20 minutes would pass and I wouldn't realize it. Or I would do what felt like 10 different things and it's been 30 seconds. Yeah, it's not an experience that I'm going to big up, especially a hot, sexy MILF. Well, a MILF by definition is generally accepted to be hot and sexy. That's what the F is there for. You either die a waifu or live long enough to become a MILF. I like that. I like that a lot. What's it like to skinny dip? It's cold. That's what it is. What did you use? What did you used to use to get high? If you don't mind us asking, I had, it was just like statute of limitations is up on this because this is like 12 years ago. But it just smoked weed. You know, just had a pipe, glass pipe, called it Watson, because it kind of had that classic Sherlock Holmesian kind of shape. You know, elementary. So yeah, it's just that. Night Vera, goodbye nod. If no doctor in distress will persuade you to watch the Star Wars special, it's your Trenzalore. Good night, Ben. Terse nod for you. Let's see. Depends on where you skinny dip. Well, I live in New England. So even in the summer, the water's cold. Unless you're talking about a small pond, it's the water's always cold, even in the summer. What's it like to get drunk and high at the same time? I don't know. And it's not because I never did both. It's because I don't remember. Oh, new type JB Lee coming back in. Boop. You get a heart. Looking for a heartbeat. Also of X-Men, would the... I love that you asked this. Would the more kinky romantic tones like the Hellfire Club and the whole Cyclops Jean, Maddie, aka Clone of Jean drama work in the MCU? Would it work? Yes. Will they do it? That is a tougher question. Because the Hellfire Club, holy crap. Here's what I would like to see as a challenge. I would like to see them integrate the kink elements of the Hellfire Club in a way that feels less outright exploitative of the female characters and the female form. Because I absolutely believe it is possible to do. Kink need not be degrading nor objectifying. You can bring that vibe without necessarily having to put an established, and in the comics at the time, pretty young, like she was an adult, but like young character in a corset and boots. That said, damn, that was a look. I'm trying to remember now if she had a whip or a riding crop. I think it was a riding crop. I feel like Black Queen later had a whip, but I think when it was Jean, I think it was a riding crop. Do I? Hang on. No. I was trying to remember if I still have my riding crop downstairs or if it's upstairs. I think it's upstairs. Different drawer. Tasteful Kink by Vera. Trademark that. Tempting. It's funny. I've gotten more comfortable with just openly talking kink, and I'm going to partly blame Farscape for that, because talking with Jesse on the What the Pharrell podcast and just how horny and kinky Farscape is as a series. Holy shit. Like I couldn't let those things go uncommented on. So yeah, I've gotten more comfortable talking about that stuff on camera. I'm assuming that aside from writing songs for the Muppets, Streisand, and the Carpenters, you mostly know Paul Williams for voicing the Penguin. Actually, what I tend to think of first when I think of him was the fact that he portrayed an ape in the fifth and second worst original series Planet of the Apes film. Copernicus? Was that his name? I forget what his character's name was. He was pretty good. Movie wasn't very good, though. I think getting drunk and high at the same time is called getting crossed. Almost. It's called crossing the streams. Don't cross the streams. Why? It would be bad. I'm fuzzy on the whole good-bad thing. What do you mean bad? Try to imagine all life as you know it is stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light. Total protonic reversal. Right, that's bad. Right. Important safety tip. Important safety tip. Thanks, Egon. Ray, take the left. Egon, take the right. Like, I don't know if people think I'm joking when I say I have certain movies memorized, but it's not a joke. If you ever review Glee, you're going to hate Will Schuester. Seriously, Ms. Wicked Wolf, if you ever want me to talk about Glee, commission me. Pay me money. Give it to me, and I'll do what you ask. I'll do what you want. And I might even enjoy it. We won't know until we get there. Okay. So that was a thing. New type JB Lee again. Thank you. Another heart. Since you are a kitty stan, thoughts on Jubilee? Jubilee, at her worst, was very try-hard. And her worst was, unfortunately, during her initial introduction in the early 90s. She was such a... And, like, it initially, a well-meaning attempt at recapturing the teenage feel of the X-Men originally. Because originally those characters were young. And even, like, when the series was kind of revived in the 70s, you know, you had characters like Kitty Pryde who were young and were kind of the hook in. So when those characters were allowed to age, it made sense to bring in a teenager again to try and, you know, keep that feel alive with everything, and to bring it back to that sense of youth and rebellion and feeling you know, the world oppressing you as you're trying to figure out who the hell you even are. So, like, on paper, I totally get why they introduced Jubilee, and it was a good idea. Unfortunately, the reality of Jubilee, especially when she was first introduced, is she always read like what a boardroom full of men in their 30s and 40s thought teenage girls were interested in and sounded like. It was painful for a lot of that. There were a handful of times it kind of worked, but cranberry juice. Yes, Jesse, it's cranberry juice. It's a little more than half a bottle worth of cranberry juice. But yet, Jubilee was a good character to introduce in concept in terms of what she was. The execution of that was not good. She was better utilized later on, which is not atypical with comics. That's one of the nice things. That's one of the benefits about a long-running series. Even the worst characters can be done right with enough time and the right writers coming back going, hey, that wasn't a bad idea. It was just done badly. Let me try. So that is one of the nice things about comics as a medium, as an ongoing medium. Jack Frederick, boom. Heart for you. How about a burlesque show to Doctor in Distress? You couldn't pay me enough. I'm not going to say there's no amount I wouldn't do it for, but that amount you could not afford. Would you look into guesting on Quest in Show? I'd love to hear you in season 3. I don't know what that is. So, and I'm not going to remember. Like, tweet at me tomorrow or something, and maybe I'll look into it. Just finished rewatching Doctor Who Series 8 today and really enjoyed it. What are your thoughts on it? I liked it better on a rewatch than I did at the time, but keep in mind a big part of that is knowing that I really like where the Doctor's going to end up by Series 10. So the first time I saw Series 8, I didn't love it because I wasn't connecting with him yet, but then I connected with him in Series 9 and absolutely loved him by Series 10 and really appreciated the arc of his character through Series 8, 9, and 10. So going back and rewatching it was beneficial, and I did enjoy it more with sort of that hindsight, knowing that where it was going and where it was going to pay off. Sexy wine aunt vibes. Don't mind me, I am just your drunk witch aunt. Greetings, Batman. You've taken the bait, as I knew you would. Now prepare to meet your end in my aviary of doom. In my big birdhouse. Admit it, you love it when I bully you. I admit nothing. You think you can break me? You can't. RP podcast set in a fantasy world. I can't tweet. The thing is, I don't think I have the spoons to take up a second role-playing gig because I've already got Quill and Sword, which I love doing. I don't think I have neither the time nor the brain space to do more than one. I don't think. I mean, I'll check it out just as a thing. I see they're making a gender switch to redo If She's All That. Garbage concept isn't made any better by changing the lead. Ew. What? Ew. Why? What? '90s nostalgia is going to be painful, and not just because it'll make me feel old. I've been subscribed to you for 2 years now. I'm sorry. I should wrap it up soon. We got to start a burlesque GoFundMe. I would never try to Drake. Oh, God, I definitely got to stop. I would never try to break you. I just playfully tease you. So, yes, I should wrap it up. I'm going to give it like 2 more minutes. You got any last minute questions you want to get in or money you want to give me? This is your chance to do so. I'd offer to flash you for the right price, but I don't want to get this stream or this channel demonetized. So that won't be a thing. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you see me on your live streams? Broadway. Not gonna lie, I do not remember the 90s. Well, I do. It was my formative years. I don't really remember the 80s that much. Not pulp. Pop culture. I don't remember the pop culture of the 80s all that much outside of a couple of things. Because, like, I was too young. I wasn't paying attention, really. If the price is right enough, the demonetization wouldn't be an issue. That would have to be an impressive price. But, like, I will say what I always say. I will never say that I am not for sale. I will only say that I am not cheap. I was born in 97, so does that make me a millennial or part of Gen Z? I don't know. I don't know where the cutoff is. I think you're Gen Z, but I don't know. Google it. Do I hear I remember the 70s? Not from me. The 80s, shoulder pads and mullets, best to skip it. God, the shoulder pads. Oh my God. I remember the 80s and 90s, mostly kid stuff of the 80s like She-Ra, Punky Brewster, Gem, and Smurfs. Yeah, I remember like that stuff being around. Stuff that I actually took in would have been Thundercats, He-Man, and the real Ghostbusters. The chat low-key indecent proposaling you. Like, look, I know my price, but I'm not going to say it in advance. I'm just wondering if anybody will ever meet it. How much do you think I'm worth? Because, you know, a sex worker will name a price, and all respect to sex workers, that's fine. But I'm a lady. Make me an offer. Can't think of another question, so have a MILF-tastic night. I will. With my within the last year developed Big Mommy Milkers. I cannot believe I just said that phrase out loud. Oh my God. Someone's going to clip that and I'm going to regret having said it. Ever hear of the SCP Foundation? I think it would be right up your alley. I have. I can't remember what that stands for. But I know I've heard that. Don't know if you know, but I hate The Greatest Showman. Oh, but that's fine. You're allowed to be wrong. Why does Broadway come to mind when you see me? Because that's the general area of stuff you tend to pester me about. What can I get for some vegan brownies? Problem with vegan brownies is they're so oily, or at least the ones I've had. What comes to mind when you picture a Broadway musical of Winnie the Pooh? For some reason, I just immediately pictured, I need to stop. God. Pooh's hole, in the ground with the tree next to it. Or like, does he live in a tree? I thought for some reason my brain made it a hole. No, he's not a hobbit. He's a tree. He lives in a tree. Yes? Yes. Does he? Crap. Ah! Would you like Would you like the MCU to show tensions between the X-Men and Avengers like in the comics? Because Avengers are the cops while the X-Men are marginalized outcasts. Personally, not particularly, because I never really liked that storyline. If I'm being completely honest, one of the reasons why I wasn't thrilled at the idea of Disney acquiring Fox in terms of taking over the X-Men is because in the comics, X-Men work the best when they are treated in their own bubble and sort of handled as separate from everything else. The stories where they are more integrated into the MCU and dealing with things like the Avengers, like X-Men versus Avengers, I don't think are particularly good stories. So I'm inclined to say they're best kept in their own bubble. Not to mention, I kind of feel like the MCU they didn't do that exactly, but they came close enough to it, at least spiritually, with Captain America Civil War. It's possible that it could work. It would not be my go-to recommendation. Aside from Last of the Mohicans, what are your favorite Daniel Day-Lewis performance? Probably There Will Be Blood, but he really is good in everything. So, what do you think of The Boys? Never seen it. Vera.exe is not working. Buffering. Oh, goodness. When did you first realize you were allergic to cats? When I was a kid and had a sneezing fit from putting my face in a cat fur. So, there you go. Who's the evil cat in Cats? All of them! They are all evil. They try and lure you in with their kindly little song and like, oh, look how pretty and carefree, angelical we are. They are all evil. They are there to steal your soul. Do not go and see Cats live. No one has gone to see Cats live and come back with their soul intact. They take it from you piece by piece, and every time you go, you lose a little bit more. People who say they went to go see Cats, they say, oh, I've been 5 times, 10 times, 20 times. They have no soul left. It is gone. It has all been taken from them. They are all evil. And on that note, I think we are going to wrap it up. Don't ask me what that was. I don't know. Whew. Then cats kick in the door and drive you away, kicking and screaming. That would have been the perfect ending to that. So, thank you all for joining me and whatever this was. Holy crap. Thank you so much. Somebody mentioned it at the front end of the stream. Yes, I do feel better for having spent this time with you folks. Thank you. What's Wisp's gender? I'm trying to fill in a wiki. Wisp's gender is none your business. Those who have been fortunate enough to be able to join Wisp in a private bedroom setting, they're the only ones who will ever know. There you go. Don't forget to find that riding crop. I know exactly where it is. So thank you all. I appreciate your company. I appreciate your generosity. I appreciate your support. And what I want you to remember is that you are beautiful. You are valid. You are loved. You are the council. I just run the meetings. And until next time, this council is adjourned. Beware of the cats. McCavity!